Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale. For you, it has been like a day or two. For me, it has literally been like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not even sure what time is anymore. And we are also like not even a week ahead on this. I'm like 3 days ahead. So, good times. um, like I'm sorry, I'm also a little sick still. I got sick at Christmas. Um, when my mom came to pick me up, she had gotten my nephew had been sick before Christmas. She was sick. She got me sick. Me and my mom and my sister were all like sick through Christmas. It was a nightmare. And I still have something lingering in my chest, and it is literally the beginning of January. I've been sick for like 2 freaking weeks. It's just kind of lingering in there. Just like I'm not like sick, but like my throat and like my chest is like, and I just have like a cough. So don't mind me. Anyway, don't do that game. We have to actually start. We are going to start Vilio's route. This is our last route of this game. I'm sad because it's the last route of the game, but I'm like so excited to be back here because like, man, I missed this game. I really did, and I have no idea what happened in any part. It's like we're starting a whole new game. But anyway, we actually start a new game here because we're starting Vilio's route. Okay, we do the normal route. We want to do the Vilio route. And then it does say in here we can skip the common route prologue. Ooh. Okay. I wonder though. Nope. Okay, so this is still on new. Anyway, in the southernmost part of Eshelita, I guess this is a little prequel before we can skip. There was a small island which only a handful of people knew about. Oh, it's like right behind the fog. I was like, is it behind the fog? It is. Oh, we're Vilio right now. Oh, right. I should have known that when it started off and guys, listen, I don't know how to play games anymore, okay? I'm not sure what ended up. Anyway, oh god, I don't know if I can do the Vilio voice. I'm choking just thinking of it. I'm sorry. That was my home, the place where I was born. Do I remember the voices? Guys, I don't know. Passio, the Dragon's Island. I hope we don't have to. We're gonna have to be him a lot. It all started with a letter of request sent by the royal family. Oh, look at this cute little background. Okay, so this is someone else. So, the situation seems to be more dire than we assumed. The king himself is appealing to us. As both a king and father, the prince's frozen heart must be his top priority. He asked that a dragon join Circus, an organization under the government. I wish to ask everyone's opinion on the matter. The aim of the organization is apparently to bloom refined chloris seeds to help the prince. But if a dragon's involved, there must be more to it. And this is probably a bunch of people going back and forth, but like, I don't know, so whatever. Indeed, normally it's out of the question for dragons to interact with humans in this way. This is interesting, we're getting like, why Vilio showed up. I heard that there's an increase of fiends throughout the continent. It must be what we'd feared. The world pays a steep price for its flourish. This must mean that the Dark Ages are approaching once again. Interesting. Dark Ages! Referring to a specific period 1,000 years ago when fiends overran the continent and nearly destroyed the world. King Arthur combined his efforts with the 4 great spirits and Ragulis. I don't think that's supposed... It still cracks me up because I don't think that's right, but it just... Anyway. And together they ended the horror. As dragons, we cannot sit idly by. Agreed, maintaining a stance of neutrality will not help the prince recover. We'll need his power when the fateful day arrives. We ought to lend our aid. It seems that we've reached an agreement. Problem is, who do we dispatch? Oh, okay, so Vilio's part of this council? He's a little more important than his derpy idioticness would, like, suggest, huh? Look at you! In that case, I'll go. The elders all fixed their eyes on me before shaking their heads collectively. Oh, okay, no, they weren't like, yeah, good for you. They're like, not this idiot. Oh, poor Vilio, he's so sweet. No, you cannot. Have you already forgotten your duty? I know. Everyone's been constantly reminding me ever since the day I was born. Oh my god, he's someone super fucking important, isn't he? Do we already suspect this? Like, well, we already knew there was stuff going down because, like, he's the locked route. So he's secret. Is he, like, the reincarnation of Ragules or something? Maybe he is Ooh, that would be... Look, I don't know. He's just way more important than we thought he was. No. Then I must put my life on the line to save the world when it's in danger. But I know nothing about this world you speak of. I've never been off this island before. I've never seen the world I'm fated to save. It really is super important. Vilio, that's because you... I know, but hey, how can I ever risk my life without knowing anything about the people I need to protect? In other words, you're saying this is necessary for you to carry out your mission. I want to know the world I'm protecting. If I get to know this world, maybe I can find the resolve to protect it for real. The elders all fell silent, and I looked straight into their eyes. I wasn't oblivious. I knew the implications of leaving this island and what I must do. But I had to. My guts are telling me I should act now. I felt as if my very soul was singing to me that I should heed my instincts. Thus, I couldn't back down here. I see what you mean, Vilio. You make a good point. Perhaps this is also the guidance of fate. These are all necessary steps toward your destined day. If that's what you believe, we shall respect your will. The fate of the world is on your shoulders. Remember that. I will. Thank you. I'll definitely fulfill my duty. In this, I swear, when my destined day comes, till the moment I breathe my last, I'll hold my head high as a dignified dragon. He's so adorable. With that, a decision was made. I'd leave my homeland, Passio, for the first time ever. Look at their cute little hobbit huts. The moment I unfurled my wings and took off into the sky, I felt the burden of my role and an odd exhilaration in my heart. I'll see everything in this beautiful world and remember it all. And I'll do it with all the new friends I'll meet very soon. My destination was Arthir, the capital city. I was still completely in the dark. About the people I'd meet, the treasures I'd gain, and when I'd find my answer to the call of fate that bound me. And then I fell on a girl, basically literally. Skip common prologue? Yos. We don't need to read it again. Should we read it again? Probably, because I don't remember anything. You want to use the same name? Yos. Basically, Vilio falls on us. Vilio around chapter 1! Look at that, we're already in chapter 1. I suppose we could have just said no, and then we could have skipped through it. And, like, watched it skip, so we're like, okay, remember this, remember that, okay, but whatever. You guys remember better than I do, it's fine. Or we're Vilio again. Okay, interesting. Are we gonna be Vilio the whole time? Alright. Right next to Arthir is Kalita, the Scholar City, founded by Celius, Great Spirit of Earth. Because we basically just skipped all of each individual chapter. Like, going to Kalita, going to Varys, going to, like, wherever. Orions, going everywhere. Its sage tower reaches skyward as if to pierce the heavens, surrounded by institutes and research facilities. Eshelita's brain. I'll be honest, if I ever had to live in a place crammed with buildings like this, it feels suffocating. Who's he taking on a tour? And that sound in the tower just now, were those the voices? No, screams of Fae? There's definitely something going on in there. After a few hours of traveling from Arthir, we arrived at Kalita, the Scholar City. As our carriage rode down the main street, I stared out listlessly at the cityscape. Kalita, huh? The city was orderly and regulated, almost to a cold and mechanical degree. No, wait a minute, though. Hold on a second. I'm actually kind of... This almost feels like we... No, okay, never mind. Chapter 1 was always this, but it just went into... We just skipped the prologue, but we're still in chapter 1. Right. I think that's what it said, that Vilio has his own, I guess, technically common route, because to be fair, for the common route prologue, but chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, were technically common, even if you were going down the other routes. You didn't get into, like, Zephora's route. I'm just looking at the Zephora guide. Yeah, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chapter 6 is where we start the individual routes. Now we're just in Vilio, but okay. For some reason, my brain was like thinking, okay, we've already toured everything, but we have not. We're basically starting the game all over again. So we've just met everyone. We're on our way. This is the first time we've been here. Okay, we really didn't skip that much then, so not a big deal. Anyway, the city was orderly and regulated, almost to a cold and mechanical degree. A looming structure stood tall and proud. Sage Tower, a symbolic monument to research. I used to live here when I was a child, but I barely remember anything. No, I guess you can't skip any of this at all. Even though it's very similar. With mixed feelings in my chest, I got out when we arrived at the plaza. I also can't read right now. We began setting up our residential tents, establishing our base of operations. Ugh! Why do we have to sleep outdoors, even after making it to the city? Rady didn't seem like a happy camper. That's true, we haven't realized that Rady has a human form yet. Because don't we figure that out here? Shit! This is gonna be kind of interesting, because in a way, like, we're not skipping stuff that we've already read, but we've kind of already read all of this, but we get to do it again without really doing it. Well, you know what I mean? We're being forced to do it again, which is probably a good thing, because I don't remember anything, so. Anyway. But the tents, cutting-edge mystic tools, were easy to carry and even came with a kitchen and a shower. This'll make our stops on the road pretty comfortable. I breathed a sigh of relief before Rady spoke up. We finished setting up our tent, but are the others okay? Vilio especially. That guy's from the most remote place possible. They don't have mystic tools there, right? Oh, you're right. He might be in a bind. I'll go check on him. The look on Rady's face was like, yeah, you go check on him. Listen, we're not in love with him yet. To no one's surprise, when I left the tent... Oh, look at his little sad face. This thing doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, then, let's try the universal solution. Pulling doesn't work. Try slamming it. Somehow when he said the universal solution, I was like, smacking it? Yeah, basically. I saw Vilio lifting the folded tent above his head, preparing to swing his arms with all his might. Vilio, stop! Huh? It's you, Spacey. Oh man, I can't believe my luck. This thing won't open even if I yank on it. I think it's broken. I think Ginnia already said this earlier, but to deploy the tent, you only have to hammer the stakes into the ground. It'll build itself. Really? Stake? Oh, these? Yep, that's them. I'll go get a hammer. Yeah! Vilio didn't use any tools. He was rapidly driving the stakes in with his bare hands. He's a dragon, so not surprising. That's gonna make me choke. Wow, awesome! Huh, it even comes with furnishings. While I stood there dumbfounded, he finished building the tent. Hey, Vilio, are your hands alright? My hands? I'm perfectly fine. The stakes got a little bent, though. As long as you're not injured. Stakes were damaged instead. Alrighty, the tent's done, so let's head in and take a look at the kitchen. Sure. When Vilio stepped into the kitchen, he put his hands all over everything that caught his eyes, clearly curious. Kettle, a sink? We got everything we need in here. What's this? It's a fire stove powered by mystic stones. I'm pretty sure it's a normal mystic tool that's used by everyone. How did you cook your food before, Vilio? Magic, of course. Like this. Whoa! But, well, they didn't really let me cook, because I burn everything when I'm in charge of the fire. You knew it was like, we don't have stoves, we just use fire breath, obviously. Vilio allowed the flames to continue burning as he resumed his exploration of the kitchen. Okay, next up is... this chest is freezing! That's an icebox. Putting groceries in there keeps them chilled. I think I heard something like that when I stayed at the castle. Wait, Vilio, the fire! Put out the fire! The mystic tool can't stand the heat. Oh no. Huh? Not cold anymore. That's because you broke the mystic stone. Will smacking it make it work again? Why is he such an idiot? You know, it's like you can't even blame him and call him stupid. It's literally because the man has no clue of anything that's going on because he's from a tiny little island and all of this is new to him. So it's like understandable, but it's just so funny because he's so stupid still. Like you can't help be like, I know that you don't know what this shit is because you've never seen it before, but it doesn't make me think you're any less stupid. So wrong. Poor Vilio. Oh. No, it won't. With your strength, you'd break the entire thing, actually. I'd let my guard down because he looked no different than any other human. But it seemed like nothing I considered common sense applied to a dragon. That's what it is. You're like, this is common sense. You don't have that because you're not used to any of this shit. First, put the fire out, Vilio, and sit right there. Huh? Just do as I say. Okay. I've learned a very clear lesson about your amazing powers as a dragon. But having such powers doesn't mean you should use them all the time. Why's that? Isn't it better to make use of what you have? If you suddenly manifest fire, it's scary and dangerous. Someone might even get hurt if you don't control it well enough. Not to mention that the mystic tools around here are special. You need to be more careful with them. I understand that all this may be new to you because you're a dragon, but if you're gonna live with us humans, you need to learn more about what we consider normal. Teach me what normal is, then. You're the right person for this. Reliable and good at teaching. Let me be your student. Well, I can only tell you what little I know. But feel free to ask me anything anytime you want. Awesome! With you as my teacher, I can take on the entire world. Okay, rule 1, don't call me teacher. Shouldn't I call you that since I'm learning from you? I'm younger than you, and, well, it makes me feel awkward. I'm willing to bet that everyone's gonna think we're weirdos, too. Really? I think you're overthinking it. But if that's what you want, Spacey, I won't call you that. Please teach me lots. I'm looking forward to learning all kinds of stuff. I'll do my best. We get to train our idiot boyfriend. It's adorable. I love it. Then, after we return to the common area... Let's see. I'm with Rady while Vilio shares a tent with Pashalia, huh? Yes. I'm in the same tent as Zephora. Ginny is the only one who has a tent to himself. The privilege of the leader. Honestly, I kind of forgot that Zephora was sharing a tent with Ion, and that makes a lot of sense, and it's a very good idea, because Zephora and Vilio... Oh my god. Vilio never would have survived. But at the same time, I want them to share a tent because it'd be funny. I checked our allocated tents, attended to the tasks at hand, and then... We didn't meet Aleste before coming here? Was this really the first time we met Aleste? Okay, someone's gonna have to fill me in and be like, yes, no, this is totally different than the last time we played the common route. It's Vilio's common route. Not really the common route, you know what I mean? But still, didn't we meet Aleste before now? Maybe not, I don't know. But okay, anyway. And you two must be the new members. I'm Aleste, pleased to make your acquaintance. Aleste, Ginny's co-worker and our point of contact with the castle, paid a visit. Oh, okay, so we've met him, just other people might not have. Allow me to introduce myself properly to you. I'm usually stationed inside the castle and my work spans across a range of fields. One of my duties is supervising Circus. And in the future, use this relay chalice to make your routine reports, please. He gave us a rundown on Circus's duties, as well as a very biased account of the prince. Ah, yes, right. He's a Prince fangirl. That never left my mind. That was in the back there the whole time. When he showed up and I'm like, Prince fangirl. You knew it was going to be long. Was not going to be long before it showed up again. I understand this is a difficult task, but it will save the prince and, by extension, this country. I'm counting on all of you. And with that, he left. Okay, bye. Seeking out more information so we could decide on our program, we scattered across the city to do our respective investigations. I'm going to guess this isn't going to be like, obviously, the other ones where we got to choose where we go and who we go with. We're basically just going to be with Vilio the whole time because, it's kind of his route. Oh, I nearly forgot. Though we investigated as individuals, I promised Vilio that I'd teach him what normal was. I couldn't leave him alone. Although it's funny because we had other times to see Vilio and we never went and did that in any of the other, we did it like once or twice. And it was always like, he disappeared. And he always disappeared, but I kind of do wish that you'd gone and seen him in every instance where you're like, oh, isn't that Vilio? Where'd he go? Because I have a feeling it was like that in every instance. Because I think we saw it like twice, but... But now we don't get to choose to go with him, we just go with him. Found him! Hey, Vilio, wait up! Oh, it's you, Spacey. Something happened. Not really, but I promised I'd teach you my definition of normal, remember? And I thought, well, teaching you while we tour the city would be the most efficient. But for some reason, Vilio hadn't been heading in the direction of the bustling areas of the city when I'd found him. Instead, he'd been walking toward the outskirts. If you keep going that way, you'll end up outside the city. Where are you heading? Well, I was... Did you get lost? Yeah, you could say that. He's hiding shit. And then the sweet little look on his face. Yeah, I was really faking shit. What are you hiding from me? Let's go together then. You won't get lost with me around. Good thinking. I'm counting on you. Oh, but don't go wander off alone when you see something new. If you want to split up, make sure to tell me first. I was about to set some ground rules, but... Bunch of people are lining up over there. What's that? Vilio ran off just like that when something caught his... Vilio ran off like that when something caught his eye. I can read. Hey, hold up! Thank goodness, you didn't run too far. What's going on over there? I spotted a long line of researchers with the complexion of zombies, all at a juice stall. It's a shop selling drinks. And business is booming. Are they selling some kind of special beverage? Are you curious too? I work at a tavern, so I can't help but pay attention to stuff like this. It may inspire me to come up with new things to try at Lieber. Let's buy one and see what it's all about. No sooner had he spoken than he was tugging on my arm. I didn't even have time to protest before he dragged me to the stall. All right, time to fuel up. Just so happened that a researcher at the stall began to chug his drink in one go. I can feel it. That's what I'm talking about. With this, I can get through yet another day. Time to go back to the Sage Tower and resume my research. That hurt my throat. I'm sorry. Don't mean to choke on you. What in the world? The researcher left the area, a crazed look in his eyes. I stared at the man appalled before feeling a tap on my shoulder. See, humans sprout wings too. Huh? What do you mean? Pretty sure that's impossible. But it says grant you wings over there. Vilio pointed at the juice stall. Healthy and nutritious, a beverage that'll grant you wings, as exhilarating as soaring into the skies. Like, it's drugs, guys. Huh, it really does, but... We then joined the end of the queue and bought one of the beverages to try, but, it would take a lot of courage to drink this fizzing blue liquid. If you're not gonna have any, can I try some? What? Vilio pulled the juice out of my hands and took a sip without hesitation. It does not look good. Vilio? Does it taste bad? Is something wrong? You're like, is something wrong? Nope, it doesn't taste bad. Does it maybe taste bad? I whispered into his ear furtively so the store attendant wouldn't hear me. Filio gave a small nod and somehow managed to swallow the liquid. We could have walked away from the stand. It's not undrinkable. You don't have to force yourself. Yeah, I do. But keep going, I'll arrive at a new discovery. Think. And keep going he did. His face went through a myriad of exaggerated expressions. It's bitter and sour, but also sweet and salty. Seems kind of bubbly and sort of thick. I have no idea what flavor that is. Puzzled, I stared at him, and then... Oh, look at our little chibi CG. The little bottle's cute, though. Hey, you should try some too. Maybe humans think it tastes good. Wow, I can't read. Huh? Something wrong? You're not gonna grab a new straw? Maybe I'm being too sensitive. I'm only sharing a drink, that's all. Hardening my resolve, I took a sip. I look so happy. We did all look happy. The instant the juice entered my mouth, it almost felt as if my mouth were being attacked by something weird, and I jumped a little, startled. It's so bitter. But it's sour too. No, it's bitter? What the heck? It's bubbly. Right? It's so interesting. It's bitter and sour and refreshing and heavy all mixed together. I mean, when I read the promotion, I did think it was a bit strange, but I never... For all those tight on time, instantly recharge vital nutrients. Sold as is. I glared at the sales pitch, shoulders slumping. Very good. That wakes me right up. With this, I can pull off 2 more all-nighters. On one hand, we were bewildered. On the other, people were chugging the juice, unperturbed. 2 all-nighters? Seriously? I finally understood why the first person we'd seen had mentioned that it was time to fuel up. Are you maybe drinking this so you can overwork yourself? I'm not overworked at all. Complexion's pale, though. I think sleep is a better alternative to drinking this. No, I have to dedicate every minute, every second to my research. I sleep enough to maintain the minimum bodily function to survive, so I'm fine. 12 hours a day? Whenever I'm low on energy, I drink this to fuel up. I can get all necessary nutrients with just 1 glass. This is the norm around here. This? The norm? Really? Okay, done. Let's go, Spacey. When Vilio finished his juice, he ushered me away, and we left. Like, the basic, all the necessary vitamins, minerals, and everything you could possibly need in a day in 1 little drink, and that's exactly why it tastes fucking wrong. Something on your mind? Yeah, the people here mentioned that was the norm for them, and it bothers me. They look far from healthy, and I think they need rest. It's an everyday occurrence to the people here, though, so I don't have the right to butt in. I still don't have a clue about this normal you humans speak of. Well, nothing here is normal, so don't use this as a basis. But I can say this, those people didn't seem happy at all. Everyone in line was unsteady on their feet and had gloomy faces. Even after they drank that juice, I felt like they were still gloomy, you know? That stuff tasted interesting, but I wouldn't want to drink it every day. In my eyes, eating good food and thinking, yum, from the bottom of their heart would make them much happier. By the way, I know they can supplement all their nutrients with it, but what about lack of sleep? Can humans live without sleep? Anyone would be driven insane if they went too long without sleep. If Speria ever got so absorbed in coming up with a new dish that she didn't sleep, I'd definitely stop her. Even if she told me she was fine because it was fun, I'd still stop her because I'd be worried. People are precious, and I want everyone to stay healthy, with smiles on their faces. Right, same here. Vilio nodded before tapping me on the shoulder. This one wasn't as intense as others he'd given me. Instead, it was a kind, encouraging push forward. No matter how many people say this is normal, a world with such standards is wrong. Those guys are so obsessed with what's in front of them that they've neglected the precious people who care about them. Plus, they're so pale they could be ghosts. Probably don't have the energy to watch us and enjoy our show. You're right. If they watched our show in such a state, The flora won't bloom. The question is, how do we change them? The night after all our investigations, we reported our individual findings. In the end, we singled out the two most urgent problems at hand. Nope. First, Kalida's citizens were too mechanical when it came to emotions. Second, they had a bad case of tunnel vision. The researchers and scholars should have started off as very curious people, right? They're passionate about a field and want to know more. Why else would they take up such an occupation? And it's not that they've always lacked emotions. Or rather, they've forgotten the initial spark of passion. Is that right? I think so. That's why we should center our promotion around Vilio and Pashalia. If that information spreads, I'm sure lots of people will be intrigued and come watch. Oh, it all comes down to our show's contents while keeping all that in mind, Yep, we need to think about it carefully. Agreed. I'd want to shrivel up and disappear if the show failed again, even without us around. Even with us around, sorry. Let's watch everyone's performance tomorrow and decide on a program after that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna be like this probably for this entire route, just like, not the yawning, but like, I am exhausted, but like, just the not being able to do the voices properly in my throat and like sounding all funky because whatever the hell is still like just floating around in my chest. Plus, I'm behind, so I gotta record as much as I can. The next day, we assembled at the show tent we'd set up on the Sage Tower rooftop. There, everyone demonstrated their talents. And Vilio burned the tent down. Vilio changed into his dragon form and flew around the tent while breathing fire. Next, Ion wielded his bulky weapon and did various martial arts moves. Sephora, meanwhile, performed intensive juggling while making it look easy. I like how everyone's doing all this and Sephora just juggles. I mean, I really can't juggle a lot, but still, I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. Lastly, Pashalia borrowed the power of the spirits and manifested a small-scale model of his hometown. Alas, as people who'd worked in the service industry, their flaws were blindingly obvious to Rady and I. But we're going to tell the story. You were all very skilled, but you didn't smile or face the audience. I don't think your performances are up to scratch yet. Exactly. What you lack is the passion to entertain your audience. After he pointed that out, the team nodded, looking sold on our criticism. Well, especially fucking Sephora. Does the man know how to smile? We can't just do whatever we want to do. Is that what you mean? Yep, a show's supposed to satisfy the needs of the audience and show them what they want. I see. Oh, I got a proposal here. How about we ask for aid from the outside party this time? The Fae. According to Rady, Celius, the great spirit of Earth who founded the city, was also called the Guardian of Fae. Thus, many Fae visited Kalida out of admiration. Gaining the help of Fae would make up for our flaws and attract the researchers to our show. Rady's proposal was sound. And just like that, we had a plan. Starting from the next day, we'd split into two groups to promote and to recruit Fae. As Fae, Vilio and Rady would split up and others would be assigned to their teams. Team 1 was Vilio, Zephora, Pashalia, and I. Team 2 was Ion and Rady, but after the teams had been decided, I still had my doubts. Why are there 4 of us going... Well, whatever. Is this group really going to work out? That we've been on this exact trip before. I hope my bad feeling wouldn't prove true, and then we're... Oh no, we don't go to the... Well, no, that's interesting. Oh no, that's in Orions, where we go to the underground city and Rady, like, okay, where it's kind of, sort of, almost this group again. We went into the streets and started promotion right away. Circus! A performance troupe sent by the king will be performing here in Kalida. Please take one of our flyers. We've already done this. On our stage, you'll see the legendary Dragon Fae and a very unique mage. We busied ourselves handing out flyers and calling out to passersby. You over there, did you just say dragon? A researcher interested in Vilio suddenly struck up a conversation with us. After hearing that he was researching all kinds of Fae in his lab, we ended up following him to the tower. This is like, hey, I got a white van over here without windows. Did you want some candy? Hell yeah. This is this scenario right here. The sight we were greeted with inside the lab, however, was more gruesome than we'd expected. There's no candy?
No more, please. Let me go home.
In the lab, tormented Faye who'd been coerced into being test subjects were everywhere. Faced with this appalling sight, Villia was the first one to reveal his rage. Hey, you! All of you! Don't even think about messing with me! The researchers claimed they were only gathering data, nothing more. However, clearly all the Fae present had been coaxed here by the researchers, and they hadn't understood what they were getting into at all, because they were promised candy and they didn't get any candy, and that's not fair. This is the same as a scam! Their treatment of Fae is appalling, but the worst part is they don't even realize the cruelty of their actions. Having little emotion was a poor excuse for losing sight of what was right and wrong. Is that all you have to say? About what? You can see how much pain the Fae are in. Do none of you feel anything? My childhood memories were hazy, but I'd heard a few things from Spiria. She told me that my mom and dad had been awe-inspiring researchers. They'd always celebrated when the results of their research lit up people's faces with smiles. I'd assumed that there'd be many wonderful researchers just like my parents inside this city, but I'd only found disappointment. This is so frustrating! I balled my hands into fists. My grip was so tight that it hurt, but then a warm, gentle hand enveloped them. Aww, how adorable. Filio, why are you even angry? Sacrifices are necessary for progress. Though they suffer from some discomfort, it's in contribution to a brighter future. Shut up! Ooh. A scorching wind rushed past, his words echoing through the lab. Who'd want a future that's built on the pain of others? Someone who can't even save the people in front of them will never be able to save anyone in the future. I could hear the heartbreak in his words. Filio, I didn't know why, but I felt as if my heart had been torn out as well. After that, we told the researchers that Fae couldn't even muster half their power when forced against their will. We'd create a place where the Fae could show off their true abilities. With those words, we quickly released the Fae from captivity. When we asked for their help with our show, they happily agreed. Like, we'll let you sleep, too, before the show, don't worry. And eat. Did you want food? We got snacks. We're nice like that. Next few days passed by in a flurry. We gone our separate ways to promote and recruit, and as a result...
Oi! There's way too many of them.
Numerous Fae had gathered at our residential tents. We're blessed to have so many, but working on a program's going to be such a headache. Is this a trade fair of Fae or something?
Petite little one. Hello there, and may I have your name?
Oh, it's Filio. Oh, Firo, right. What do I... Filio and Billy. I don't know why in my head I combined the names. That's not...
I'm Hero.
When we took him under our protection, he was running away from some researchers. To be honest, giving sanctuary to so many Fae at once was a tall order. Okay, excuse me, sorry, pardon me. Please make way. Thank you. Luckily, Leon, who'd rushed here in haste, solved that problem for us. Wait, Leon? Leon then gave us an explanation. Apparently, Cheers wasn't just a restaurant and general store. They also offered protection and support for Fae. Once he'd heard about our situation, he volunteered to take care of the Fae's basic needs until the day of our show. With the exception of Firo, who expressed a strong desire to stay with Radiant Ion, saviors. The remaining Fae gathered here followed after Leon. Sorry, my bird's with me. Give him kisses. He missed me. He was alone for like 5 days by himself.
It wasn't really 5 days. It was only a couple nights. But you was 2 days of traveling. You were home all by yourself, and you didn't like. No, you didn't. You had to be in your cage. No one was here to snuggle you, and you've been very clingy ever since.
Listen, I make fun of you and say that, but I missed you so goddamn much. I really did.
I did.
got home last night.
It was only a couple of days, but I missed you so much, my poor little baby. My poor booger boo. My poor baby bird. What were you doing all by yourself? I know.
After that was done, we took the opportunity to discuss our plans. He's always sitting with me anyway, but like, very clingy and needy. And I want to squeeze him because I missed him so much and I was very worried about you. But you're fine. Ew! I can't believe we got so many. With so many new additions, I had some ideas about the composition of our program, but something was distracting me. I was a little dejected after seeing the ugly side of researchers. I mean, in my mind, researchers are supposed to be wonderful people like my parents, whose eyes light up at the unknown. They were far from it. Everyone was concerned about my low spirits, and I ended up telling them, bit by bit. My parents had both been researchers, and they'd worked inside the Sage Tower. During the course of their work, they lost their lives in an accident. After that, I moved to the capital to live with Spiria at Liber. And my memories of my childhood were very vague due to my trauma from back then. And we know our parents aren't dead. When I was finished, everyone was downcast, seemingly unsure of what to say. Then, by the way, may I ask for your parents' names? My father was Rigel, my mother was Miria. Oh! Rigel and Miria? No way! Such a coincidence cannot be. But now that she mentions it, I can see her likeness to the professors. The moment he heard their names, Ginnia's eyes widened. It turned out that my parents had been his professors during his school days. Most people would tread lightly when children of nobles are involved, including professors, but they were one of a kind, so to speak. This was a tale about my parents that I hadn't been privy to. I pressed a hand against my chest, a little overwhelmed. Then, so, it's because of your past that you look so conflicted after seeing everything in this city, Spacey? Filio gently stroked my back, offering comfort and warmth. He knew the names, so he knows that they were probably cursed by dragons. I'm just gonna guess. But they didn't make that clear. Like, during Rady's route, he knew about the dragon curse. He's like, oh, okay, like, I can fix that. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm wondering, like, obviously they're not going to reveal that maybe he... Oh, yeah, there were two people who showed up and were cursed by the dragons because they weren't invited to the island. And when we said their names, he's like, oh, those are the dragon cursed people. Okay, you know what I mean? Seems like he knows a little bit more than they let on in Brady's route, which possibly. Anyway. Filio, we can't change the past. That much is obvious. But you can make as many new memories as you want, right? So let's put on an amazing show and make some new, wonderful memories together here. Or he was just repeating their names for no reason, but... During times like these, Vilio always makes the most moving statements.
I'll do my best, too.
The words of a foolhardy idealist. I might be idealistic, but I think he's right. If I make fresh, happy memories here, I have the feeling that I'll grow to like this city.
Alright, okay. Let's start by throwing back some booze to liven up the mood in here.
In that case, those who do not drink, please eat some of these. We all ended up gratefully sharing the cookies Ion had baked, and with that, look how adorable those fucking cookies are. Our evening had become peaceful once more, and time slowly ticked away. My dryer's going, and like, the hoodie with the zipper is like bashing all over in there suddenly. Okay. Eventually, we all retired to our designated tents and slept. Until late at night.
You're getting fidgety, stop it.
For some reason, I felt oddly uncomfortable. I blinked my eyes open and stared blankly up at the tent canopy. I can't get back to sleep. Our practice officially begins tomorrow, so maybe I'm nervous or something. I thought about grabbing a drink of water to refresh myself, but I didn't want to wake Rady and Fury. I didn't want to wake Rady and Firo, who had ended up staying in my tent. Wow. I really cannot speak or read. He glanced next to me. but the hammock there was empty, rocking slightly with the draft. Rady? Vero? That's where we find out Rady's a hot man. We can't date him anymore! Where did those two go? Curious, I left the tent. Then I blinked a few times when I saw a silhouette leaving their tent, just like me. Oh, it's you, Vilio. I mean, that we can tell by a shadow. Why are you going out this late at night? Are you having trouble sleeping? Sure am. I got so giddy thinking about our show that I couldn't get to sleep at all. Did that happen to you too? Even though our show's still quite far away, I'm a little antsy, which is why I'm up. Oh, hey, how about we drink something hot to warm us up? Sounds great. Let's get something to nibble on while we're there. We headed toward the kitchen, exchanging small talk, but then... I'm going to assume it's Rady and Firo, because... Anyway, I would assume it's Rady, because they're missing as well, and this, like, around the time where we wake up and then we find out Rady's a hot guy. I'm just going to assume. Don't worry. I'm telling you, you'll be fine. Come on, no need to be so nervous. But, I mean... These voices are Rady and Firo? Oh, no, Rady's still in his fireball form. Even after some sleep, I still can't seem to transform at all. I'm gonna be stuck like this forever. Oh, come on, don't cry. Fine. I'll teach you how, so chin up, okay? With a long sigh, Rady surveyed his surroundings. Listen up. Visualizing a clear image in your mind is essential when they want to transform. Rady? Okay, well, that's right. I forgot we had to see him transform. See, that's easy. Amazing! Wow, you're amazing, Rady. You're way too amazing. And so handsome. Hey, back off my boyfriend. Well, okay, Vilio's my boyfriend in this route, but they're all. This is my man harem. I get it. You said you couldn't transform before, but you must have been trying to cheer me up with what they call a white lie, right? No, well, that was... Well... Oh, whatever. And more importantly, I should give it a go, too. Yes, sir! I'll do my best! Hey, did he just... Vilio's voice didn't register in my ears. I was in utter shock over what I just witnessed. Rady had always been small, fluffy, and cute, but now, standing where he had just been was a tall adult man who's gorgeous. They looked nothing alike. But there was the stone on his forehead and his vivid pink hair. Nice. Very good. Just like that. And his voice that was full of warmth, despite having his impish moments. All of the evidence forced me to face the truth. In my heart, it was Rady. Who's there? You guys... Before I'd realized it, I was walking forward on unsteady feet, dazed. She goes up and just, pokes him in the cheek. Are you Rady? I can only squeeze out a few shaky words before I black out. Light overtook darkness. The next morning dawned. Alone in the kitchen, I let out a long sigh. It's going to be lunch soon, and I need to prepare food, but I don't have the energy. I shook my head vigorously to get a grip and muster up some motivation. However, I couldn't get the scene from last night out of my head, no matter what I did. Last night, in this very place... After I'd seen Rady's human form, he'd looked conflicted as he gave me an explanation. During our first meeting, he truly had been incapable of transforming. But around 3 years ago, he'd suddenly gained the ability. That's when he had gotten worried. The furball I'd grown up with suddenly turned into a man. What would I think? According to Rady, he had decided to hide his ability after a discussion with Spiria. I still feel like I'm dreaming. I mean, this is Rady we're talking about. Brady, whom I've always held in my arms, put on my lap, slept together with since I was a kid, was actually a hot man. I know. And every time we talk about him jumping into laps, it's like, you know, it's awkward, but I'm here for it. Was actually a mature man. How was I supposed to react? In fact, I felt so awkward this morning that I'd come up with an excuse to leave our tent before he woke up. I didn't get a wink of sleep to begin with. After yet another sigh, I lightly slapped my cheeks. I need to get a grip. Everyone's practicing so hard. I'd already informed the team and the Fae about the performances they'd do. All that was left was for them to get into their groups and practice as I'd instructed. All right, I'll do what I can, too. The moment I had that thought... Morning, Spacey! Oh, Vilio. Where were you? Everyone's already practicing, you know? Sorry about that. I'll head over right away. On that note, are you going to practice for the show with us, Spacey? Well, I guess I should practice too. But Rady and Leon are coaching the Fae pretty well. I figure we should divide the labor, so I was thinking about prepping lunch. My reasoning sounded convincing, but I was aware that it was an excuse. Vilio stared at me. He must have seen right through me. He is not dumb. He's not as dumb as he acts like. You don't have to hide it. You're really shaken after last night, aren't you? Is it that easy to tell? A little awkward for me to talk to Rady right now, so... I don't really get it. Why do you think it's awkward? Because he hid the truth from me. He looked so different. Honestly, it's he hid the truth from me. Yeah. I've lived with Rady like family all my life. Rady knows everything about me. My preferences, my hobbies. I thought the reverse was true as well. But he kept a secret from you, and that's what affected you so much. After listening to me, Vilio suddenly got a distant look in his eyes and whispered something. You know, I think everyone has a secret or two. I mean, I think that lies that'll hurt others are bad, yeah. But Rady kept his silence because he cares about you, right? Yeah, I know. That's why I don't feel betrayed, just surprised. I let out a wry smile before turning to face Vilio again. You can't lie to save your life, Vilio. I didn't expect to hear that you're okay with people keeping secrets. Hey, is it possible you're hiding something too? Who knows? Vilio paused for a moment before turning to face me once again. Yeah, we're not going to find out till later in his route, obviously, but... You know, kind of wild now that I think about it. Who would have thought that humans and Fae would gather and practice hard for the same goal, regardless of race? Is it that odd? Yeah, I find it strange. Back on the island, I didn't understand a thing about other races. I've always been told to be careful around humans since they're much more fragile than dragons. Valid. And the dragons live in a totally different world from other races. I mean, everything is weak compared to dragons. But that only applies to physical strength. We're identical in every other way. We smile when we're happy, we cry when we're sad, and we eat when we're hungry. We show concern about other people and we act because we want to help. Lately, I've started to discover that race and appearance don't matter all that much. Vilio. I listened carefully to Vilio's words, and naturally the first person who came to mind was Rady. He smiles when he's happy, he cries when he's sad. He might come off as careless, but he can't just sit by when people are in trouble, and he always cheers me up. Vilio's right. Even if Rady took on a different appearance, everything that mattered was still the same. He was my precious family, but I avoided him. Thank you, Vilio. Huh? I didn't do anything. Yeah, you did. You cleared up my cloudy sky a little. So, thank you. Oh, sure. I don't really get it, but if you're happier, I'm happier. Alright, in that case, it's about time I go join the others. Good luck out there. He just says the absolute, you're like, wow, thanks, and he's like, what? What did I do, huh? Because he just comes out with these little balls of wisdom, and you're like, wow, good point, Vilio, thanks. Huh? What did I say? Oh, he's so adorably stupid, I love him. Vilio's Vilio sprinted over to the other Fae, and as I watched him run, I sucked in a deep breath. Let's have a proper conversation with Rady after this. I whispered that small oath to myself aloud. And now we're Vilio. Vilio's voice hurts me a little right now. Again, it's going to be like that for most of his route, probably. Sorry, Rady. I'm totally late. You took forever. Everyone's already taken a break. I'm so sorry. I'll work extra hard to make up for it after the break-ins. Furball Rady puffed out his cheeks, probably upset at my tardiness. I'm pretty sure he said that even though he doesn't know his own race. I stared hard at him. Then Rady scowled, looking agitated. What? Was there something on my face? Hey, I have a question. Rady, are you really a Fae Beast? What do you mean by that? Wasn't that obvious from my looks? You've given me an odd feeling from the day we met. But, well, I pretty much only interacted with dragons before, so at first, I was like, huh, so there are Fae like you outside my island, and wrote it off. After I got to meet and talk to all the other Fae in the city, though, I figured it out. If you're just an ordinary Fae, how do you explain the strong spirit aura you have? Rady didn't offer any answers. However, his expression turned fiercer as he glared at me. Not to mention the stone on your forehead. You still had it after your transformation. Usually all attributes of your race, like scales or horns, vanished along with your transformation. So why did you still have it? I mean, obviously we know, but it's kind of interesting now. What? Because this thing has a special stone with the blessing of Celius, and calling it a blessing's a bit of a stretch. Feels like the Great Spirit himself. When I explored Kalita, I got to see the Caritas wand inside the Sage Tower, and I'm sure of it. I feel the same magic inside your stone and that wand. Rady eventually sighed in surrender under a hailstorm of evidence. Ah, you're so wise, oh great dragon. You saw right through me, didn't you? Well, a normal dragon probably wouldn't have been Well, a normal dragon probably would have been oblivious, actually. I'm, well, a slightly special dragon, you see. How special? Not gonna tell us. Special? Yeah, your theory's right on the money. You could say that my gem's like the other half of the Caritas wand. But what are you gonna do with that knowledge? Tell the others? Nah, don't get the wrong idea. If you want to hide, that's perfectly fine. I don't plan on telling anyone else. Since I have a few secrets too. Listen, I'm just saying. You could elaborate, you know. I can't tell you the details, but it involves the core items of each city. That's why I was interested in your stone. Rady. Oh, I don't know why I was going to read Vilio as Rady for a second. Wow. Rady, could you give me more details about how you gained that stone? Very important. It might influence the fate of this world. I neither ran nor hid behind lies as I looked straight at Rady. For a while his gaze wandered. But finally he let out a long sigh as if my insistence had worn him down. I'm fine. I can't hide it anymore after hearing you say that. To begin with, this stone is my... Once Rady finished his story, I let out a long sigh, trying to make sense of all the information I'd gained. Thanks for telling me. I have the gist of what happened now. If that's the case, I may need your cooperation in the future. I hope you'll help me when the time comes. Yes, I know. I can't run away. On that note, asking for my help's fine and all. But hey, you made me spill all my secrets. Are you gonna keep quiet? Sorry, my situation's a bit complicated. I pressed my palms together pleadingly. Rady didn't look happy about it. I saw that he was about to say something, so I went ahead and interrupted. I nearly forgot. I gotta tell you about Spacey. She was really concerned about you, so be sure to make up with her later. What? I mean, of course I was thinking about having a chat later, but... Hey, look! Bureau and the others are back. Let's resume practice right away. Hey! Don't dodge my question! Give me an answer already! I love that. Because we're not going to find out what Vilio's hiding, you know what I mean? Not for a while, but I feel like is he really like the original Great Spirit, Dragon Spirit? What the hell? What was the name again? Now I can't remember because there's so many names popping up, and I'm really dense right now. But like, um, Regulus. Is that you? Is that really you? You're like the descendant of, or you were the reincarnation of, or is like? Well, I feel like everyone would. Well, you're destined to do that if you were Regulus, but could be like the reincarnation of type of a thing, like oh, his spirit's in you type of a thing. I mean, there's been all these other connections with the Great Spirit so far, and I feel like they're getting a little more intense as they go. So, like, you know, um, but anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.